Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chiseled. And why do we call it Chiseled? Because we're all a work in progress. I'm your host, Rob Commodari. I'm also the author of the book Better Than You Think and Next Level Your Life with a Collaborative Effort with 40 other authors. But today, I got a special guest, Jeffrey Gitomer. He's a Gitomer. Did I pronounce it wrong already?
No, you're fine. It's perfect. I just wanted to make sure the audience knew that they were in for a cringe.
So you're going to be in for some laughs today, I'm sure. He's a creative, on-the-edge writer and speaker whose expertise on sales, customer loyalty, and personal development is world-renowned. He's known for his presentations, his seminars, his keynote addresses that are pretty funny, insightful, and in your face. That's the Philadelphia coming out of him, right? The brotherhood of Paul. Real world, off the wall, on the money, and he gives audiences information they can take out on the street 1 minute after a seminar is over and turn it into money. He's an author of multiple books, #1 bestsellers. He does over 40 presentations a year. He's got a daily Facebook Live podcast. Has had over 3 million downloads. And in 2008, he was elected to the Speaker Hall of Fame. So welcome to the show, also known as the King of Sales, Jeffrey Gitomer. And I said it right that time,
kindly.
Right?
Rob, thank you very kindly. I have to tell you that I do a lot of podcasts. I really have fun doing them because I get my message out to other audiences. But it's always interesting to see who's on the podcast, who actually listens on a regular basis. And then what do they do when I'm done? I'm here to serve. I don't charge any money to be on a podcast. Sometimes I will charge money for people to be on my podcast because I get a lot of downloads and people want to ballyhoo their book or whatever. So I charge $500 or $1,000 to be on the show. But for me as a guest, I come on and I give value to your audiences, and then we figure out what's going on after that. You will owe me one crab cake when I come to Baltimore.
I'd be happy to do that. I got a place to go already. Pappas has got great crab cakes.
Perfect. I do not use butter. I only use cocktail sauce. I
will make sure they know that, so they serve you correctly.
Thank you very kindly.
So Jeffrey, so tell me, I've my two favorite books that you wrote that I've read are the Little Red Book of Selling and the Little Black Book of Connections. So I've read these a long time ago.
Okay.
And I'm like, I love this guy, and I'm not just saying that because you're on my podcast, because you got that Northeast thing about you, right? I think that's the commonality here.
Yes, I do. Well, I go more north than you do. When you go north, you go to Philly. When I go north, I go to New York.
Well, be honest with you, I go around Philly and go to New York.
Yeah. You don't want to let anybody know you're there.
So how did you get to this place of writing all these books? How did you get there?
I opened up my own businesses. I had a beanbag chairs. I manufactured them in New Jersey, and imprinted sportswear. I manufactured them in Florida. And I go to New York and make sales because New York is the only place that you can go where you truly cut your teeth. And that's the challenge.
Well, did you have to make them offers they couldn't refuse?
No, what I did was, every up yours is a greeting and everybody wants a bribe. And if you, and this is a very important part of the process, if you can be creative enough to offer them something where they feel valued, then you win. And if you don't, they throw you out or they ask you for money to buy your product. And that happens a lot in New York. A lot. People want a bribe of some kind or another. So I put myself in a winning position when I was in the imprinted sportswear business, for example. I manufactured the garment and printed the garment. So I had two profits. And I would go into a buyer and I would say, look, do you want my lousy $1,000, $2,000, or do you want to be known as the best buyer in the store? I said, I'll take one profit off of the price and still allow you to mark it up 100%. So you're actually selling it at 125% based on my selling price. And now when you sell out, you become most profitable department. And they're like, wow. Ooh. Let me throw the challenge at you. When you're in a big sales call, it's not about your product. It's not about you. It's all about your ability to engage the other person with creativity. If you can use that creativity like I did in New York, I made millions of dollars worth of sales just by using a creativity. That's it.
So creative in what sense of the word?
Well, I
Humor?
dropped one profit from my, I'd make double profit when I go to New York and sell something. But if it was a big buyer, I drop one of the profits. Now they can mark it up 125% instead of 100%, and they win. But you have to do it in a way where they don't feel like you're devaluing anything. You have to do it in a way where they feel like it's their idea. You have to do it in a way where they feel like they win. I mean, there's a whole lot of nuance to it. And I start out with brains, and then I add creativity. And there's books that I use that that I've learned creativity from. Let me show you the best. I'm right by my this book.
Okay.
By Edward de Bono. That's the guy who created lateral thinking, and that was used to make profit in the Olympic Games in 1984.
Okay.
Boom. And this book, the best book ever written on creativity, called Thinker Toys by Michael Mahalko. And these books will help you think differently, think better, think more creatively. It's the way you look at things and how you decide you're going to act when you see them. But you can't just go by your price or your product, because they don't give a shit about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but like growing up, like you said, your parents are smart and you got their intelligence. Where did the drive come from?
The drive comes from growing up in Philly, going to 1,000 sporting events, having rivalries with your friends. I didn't realize I was smart till I left Philly.
Well, I could have told you that.
Yeah, but you hang around with all these people, and they're very streetwise, and they're very sharp. And, I'm going to the World's Fair in New York City in the 60s, and I'm going to Shea Stadium to watching the National League All-Star game where Johnny Callison hit a home run in the bottom of the ninth to win it for the National League. I'm watching the Eagles win the championship in 1960, but I'm also having to find a parking space, having to, all the things that go with the program. You have to be able to navigate yourself in the Northeast. It's not just a matter of doing. It's a matter of figuring out how to do when you get there.
Well, that's the street smart part of it.
Yeah. And so you go to New York City, you better have it figured out. And you better have it figured out before you go, or you're in trouble. So
I'm heading up there this weekend.
Exactly. Well, stay out of trouble.
I'll tell everybody I know Jeffrey Gitomer.
Exactly. And you're fine. Where are you going to stay? Do you know?
My buddy booked it. I don't know. We're going to the Giants game. I should say the Ravens game. Going to the Ravens game, and they're playing the Giants up in Jersey.
Yeah. Well, you'll win by 30, but you're meeting the worst team in the league.
Well, you had to play them too. You played them twice.
Right. I think we still have one more game with them to beat them, but we beat them bad the first time. And you
guys got a knack for going on these streaks, and then you poop the bed. You crap the bed.
Well, hey, it is what it is.
So
we're used to it. We're definitely used to it. And I have gear on today, because I'm very proud of my team. We've won 8 or 9 in a row, and we have a real game this weekend. But it is what it is.
Well, hopefully we meet up in the Super Bowl, and then we'll make a bet.
I would love to, but I don't think you're going to make the Super Bowl.
Well, I don't think you are either, but anyway.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. Let's just bet on the Super Bowl. How about that? Not against each other, but one team makes it, one team doesn't. We're on the air right now. We'll go for $20. Make it easy.
Okay.
And is that cool?
Who goes further or who makes the Super Bowl?
No, but who goes further is nothing. You either make the Super Bowl or you don't.
So if neither team makes it, it's a push.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I know the gambling terms.
Yeah, I understand. People don't understand push. I do.
Yeah, I was 13 years old in a bookie in Baltimore. But anyway, It's all good.
I had a bookie in Philly, Mike the bookie. And I ran football pools with him when I was in college.
Yeah, we used to do the football pools. I used to do the corner store. I ran the payphone, if everybody knows what a payphone is these days.
Yeah.
So I'd be up there on Saturday doing the college games, Sunday doing the pro games. There's a statute of limitations. I can't get in trouble telling everybody I was taking a book at age 13 or 14, can I?
No. But my bookie and I were friends, and he'd hide the football pools under an abandoned car in a parking lot. Crazy.
That's great. That's great. So Jeffrey, I know you're limited on time here. I would talk a little bit about this AI thing. So everybody knows AI is going on here. Everybody knows or hears or thinks it's important, and you don't know what you're getting yourself into. But you have created your own AI platform, haven't you?
Yes. And I will tell you, this is pretty interesting. I created my own AI platform based on my observing and realizing that ChatGPT was a black hole. It's a large database where anything is anywhere, and they will guarantee you. They have a limitations claim on their website, and it says that we don't claim anything's real. It may sound authentic, but it may not be. In fact, it may be nonsensical, is what they actually say.
Right.
And so I decided, no, that's not for me. And on luck, I found somebody who had a proprietary platform, and I decided to go proprietary rather than in the open source. But proprietary requires a lot of money to be able to make that happen. But I keep myself, I'm safe. My intellectual property is mine, not ChatGPT. And in order to get my stuff, you have to subscribe. You can't just go in and ask it a question. You subscribe to Jeffrey Gitomer. It will have all the things I've ever done, 30 years worth of stuff, and all the people I've ever interviewed. So I've interviewed everybody. I've interviewed, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, you name it. And all of that's on there as well. So there's about 30 or 40 interviews and all my stuff. And you subscribe, you pay a monthly fee, and you can ask me anything, any time of the day or night, in any language, anywhere in the world.
About any topic.
Yep. Well, sales, personal development, trust, customer service, customer loyalty, anything I've ever written about, you get it.
So it's all that platform is based on your history and what you've done.
17 books, 16 ebooks, 1,600 YouTube videos, and 4,000 posts or columns or blog posts.
Wow, that's incredible. And you're still going. You're still going strong.
Oh yeah. And you may know or may not know a guy named Gerhard Schwantner who owns Selling Power magazine.
No.
And I gave him a 3-day trial on my platform, and we decided to do something public about it. And I said, Gerhard, ask me anything. And he goes, okay, Jeffrey, tell me about the interview that you did with Selling Power magazine. What were the 3 major points? And so I put it in my thing and hit return. And it comes back in about 10 seconds. And it lists the 3 major points. Rob, I did that interview with him 20 years ago.
Really?
I would have never remembered a thing about the interview.
Wow.
But my own AI knows everything. It's way smarter than I am.
Wow, that's great.
Catalog, it's literally unbelievable.
So how much time do you have to invest in that? I mean, you personally, you had to put a lot of time into that, right?
You'd be surprised. AI can document your stuff and categorize it in about an hour.
So help me out here. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It took me a week to put all my stuff together. 4 people working full time to put everything I've done together. We send it over to my platform, and in an hour, it's aggregated.
Wow, that's incredible. So what's the benefit of getting on Jeffrey Gitomer's AI versus ChatGPT? I know you used the black hole reference, but what's the benefit?
I'm going to just say this. I will guarantee you that my stuff's authentic. I will guarantee you that my stuff's accurate. And I've sold millions of books. I've had 30 years on the road, giving 2,500 talks to corporations literally all around the world. So I know my sales information is accurate and valid. So if you need to know how to make a cold call or close a sale or ask a question or have a loyal customer or build a relationship, it's all there. Yeah. Everything is there. All the books that I've written, everything. And the value of my AI is you don't have to read my book anymore. You don't have to go to page 152 and read something about trust. Just ask me. I'll tell you in 10 seconds or less.
Wow.
And you can, Rob, you can be right in the middle of a sales call. And say, excuse me, Mr. Customer, I need to ask Jeffrey a question for just a second. And you put me on your iPhone and you go, Jeffrey, this guy's being a cheap bastard. And I don't know how to close the sale. What do I do? And I'll give you an answer. And the customer will be blown away. Literally blown away. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just turned to 152 in your red book. I didn't know if that was the book you were talking about.
No, I don't. That's a random number. But,
I know. I was just being smart out there. That's all.
But just, well, I mean, you're from Baltimore. It's part of your heritage. The challenge that anybody has today, I get this question all the time. Will AI replace salespeople? And the answer is no. But a salesperson that uses AI will replace a salesperson that doesn't use AI.
And why?
That's where they have to be. Because I can get answers faster, easier, quicker than you can. And you're doing research while I'm making a sale.
Now, Jeffrey, what do you say to the person that says, I feel like I'm cheating if I use AI? You call him dumb. You call him.
No, he's an idiot.
Because you use AI as a tool.
Now, hang on a second. There's a lot of people that confuse AI and how it's supposed to be used. It's a tool.
Right.
It's a resource. It is not for don't tell me, write this email for me or write this book for me. That's bullshit. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get the same answer that 10,000 other people get. You're going to look like a fool. And if you're uncreative enough to ask ChatGPT for a title for the subject line for your email, quit. Go get a job at Walmart as a greeter. You're an idiot. Or you're just lazy, or you're drinking beer and watching Netflix like a fool. So harness the power of AI.
Yeah, like you said, use it as a tool.
Yeah. And same with mine. I'm going to give you answers, but you customize that answer for your customer.
Yeah, what I like about it, Jeffrey, is like when it first came out. Well, when it first the rave started coming up, I was like, I don't know if I want to get into that because I don't want it to do my work for me. And then I started thinking, the reason I like it a lot is I'm learning how to ask better questions.
Exactly.
I'm learning how to what answer do I want at the back end? So what question do I have to ask to get that answer?
Exactly. My AI will give you answers, but it's an answer machine that you have to customize.
Yeah.
For your customer and your situation.
Yeah. So Jeffrey, what got you into personal growth and development? What was the trigger there?
I started out as an entrepreneur, a businessman, because that's what my family was. And I had the gift of gab, but I didn't understand the science of selling.
Okay.
And I got involved in an MLM company in 1972 with Glenn Turner, Dare to Be Great. And I realized that I didn't have a positive attitude or understand the science of selling.
Okay.
So I became a student. We had a 4-hour meeting every morning with a bunch of guys for 1 year straight, every day.
Every day.
Every day. I read a chapter of Think and Grow Rich every day for a year. And there's only 15 chapters in the book. So I'm reading the book like 10 times.
Okay.
And so eventually you get it. Mm-hmm. And you have that wealth of knowledge and you begin to customize it for what you want to do.
Well, it becomes a part of you.
Yeah. Never goes away. You can never take my attitude away from me. Ever, 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 ever.
Was that your first book you read in personal growth and development?
It was the main book that I read. I had other stuff and I read, books and tapes, but yeah, Think and Grow Rich was my main book. And
I'm sure you read.
At Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, but I took the course. I paid $1,000 and took the Dale Carnegie course.
Yeah. So,
and that includes the book. So there's a teacher and you learn how to do it and you meet people and, there's a whole process to it. But most people aren't. I'm a student of personal development. Still am. I read every day.
Yeah.
And I write every day. And so if you're dedicated to that and you get into the groove of it, I have a morning routine that still allows me to spend an hour with myself. And you go, well, I got kids. Well, I got kids. I
Yeah.
get up before everybody.
What time do you get up in the morning?
5 usually.
5. And you spend that first hour with yourself?
Right.
Yeah.
Even if my ass falls off. I mean, I'm dedicated to me and getting better.
And can I ask what that looks like, what that routine looks like in the morning?
Yeah. I read, I write, I prepare, and that causes me to think and create. You do those 5 things in the morning for 20 years, and boom, you're an overnight success.
Read, write, prepare causes you to think and create.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And that's my morning routine. And I don't, I don't do 28 push-ups. I'll walk a little bit every once in a while, but I'm not looking to sweat in the morning. I'm looking to think in the morning.
Well, doesn't your thinking cause you to sweat?
Sometimes.
So when did you say to yourself, hey, I'm going to write my own book?
That's pretty interesting. I had an opportunity in Charlotte in 1992 to respond to someone's column that they wrote in the Charlotte Observer, and it was stupid about sales, and it was dumb. And they did a column on me. The reporter came out and did a thing about me, and I said, wow, this is pretty cool. My phone's ringing off the hook. So I went to the Observer and asked them to do a column, and they turned me down. So I went to the Business Journal, where I'd already known the guy, and we had a chat, and he said, 30% of our readers are salespeople, and we don't do anything for them. I said, why don't I write a column every week on selling skills? And after the second column, I said to myself, if I write 100 of these, I got a book.
And that's how you put it together?
Yeah. Never wrote a book, just wrote a column.
Now, is that how all your books have developed?
No. Now I write books.
Okay. Now, how about the speaking part? How did you get into the speaking part? Because
when you write, people ask you to come talk.
Okay.
So I've done, and this is interesting, okay? I've done 2,500 corporate talks over the last 25 years. Never made one sales call.
Huh.
All come from people who read what I wrote, either blog post or one of my books or something, or saw me at another event, and they call me. I don't call anybody. I'm in sales. I make no sales calls.
So that's incredible. So then would you say in today's world, because you have the videos, the shorts, the reels, is that another avenue that's replaced the writing?
Absolutely. Yeah, I have millions of views on my YouTube channel. Millions.
So is that from your podcast or just conversations or
I have a studio here as well. But studios now are cheap. My studio cost a bloody fortune in 1998. And now you can replicate the same thing for 1/20th of the cost. Like, hold on. See where I am right now? I'm in my library. See this? Yeah. That's my studio light. And it's $300. The first studio light I bought was $2,500. And this light's better, and it'll last longer. And it's not hot. And so I'm in my library. I don't have a fake background. I have a real background. Art on one wall, books on another wall. It looks like I'm intelligent. But I'm just sitting in my chair on a Mac and talking.
Yeah.
But I use lighting so that it's more professional.
Yeah. So as far as like the videos, you said you got a gazillion YouTube videos.
But I script it. Sometimes I'll use a teleprompter, and sometimes I don't. And I defy you. Look at any one of my videos. Tell me which ones I'm reading and which ones I'm ad-libbing.
Won't be able to tell why.
Right. Because I write my own stuff.
Yeah. Well, so from here, where are you going from here? I mean, you got this AI platform, or is there another book
AI
coming?
is where I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going to live that. I'm going to die on that hill.
And is there a book coming from that?
Actually, probably never, because when you write something about AI, it's obsolete the very next day.
Okay.
So I'm going to go on my site for my subscribers at the beginning of January. I'm going to go live online in the morning, and my subscribers can join me, and I'm going to teach my AI new stuff. So I'll continually update it. and I'll take their questions as well, and that will automatically upload and be part of the program.
Now, is that a subscription based thing there?
Yeah,
to do that. Okay.
$600 a year.
Yeah, okay. Because I met you by Ken Walls on his show.
Yeah.
And then so like Jeffrey, I don't know how much more time you got here. I know you got an appointment coming up, but man,
I do.
What's the if you could give a person in today's world the best piece of advice in selling or marketing, what would you tell them?
If you're after money, you will not get it.
Okay.
If you love what you do, you got a shot at it. If you love what you do, you got to look at any athlete. They're not playing for money. They get money, lots of money, but they all love the game.
Uh-huh.
And I know a lot of athletes, and we've talked about it at length, but it starts out with love. So I love sales. I love business. I wake up in the morning and I don't work. I just fiddle around in sales and talk to people and help and do a podcast or do a video. That's the key to success, is loving it.
Yeah.
And because if you love it, you're going to want to learn about it. You're going to want to read about it. You're going to want to write about it. And in today's world with social media, you can immediately gain a following on LinkedIn. You can immediately gain a following on Instagram. And that's where you got to be.
Yeah. Do you have a preferred platform?
Well, for business, LinkedIn, but for fun, Instagram.
Okay.
My daughter, who's 15, even though I shouldn't have a 15-year-old, one of my daughters, I shouldn't have one that young, but she's a TikToker. And so I go, well, what's the difference between TikTok and Instagram? She goes, age.
That's a good answer, right? That's a really good answer. So, Jeffrey, what do you like more? What do you like best? Speaking, writing, podcasting? What do you like best?
I like writing best because that lasts the longest.
Okay.
Writing is legacy. Speaking is 2 hours in New Jersey, or 2 hours in Wisconsin, or 2 hours in California.
Right.
But writing is forever.
Yeah, but with the videos, isn't the speaking, if it's video, forever?
Yeah, writing requires thought, concentration. It requires editing. You know, there's stuff about it that I really like the most.
I'm assuming you edit your own stuff.
And once I write it, Rob, I can go video it and same. So all of my YouTube videos, 1,600 of them, I wrote everything, or I ad-libbed everything. So it's my own material in video format.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Thank
So
you.
Before I let you go, so this podcast is called Chiseled, and obviously you've been chiseled along the way this whole career of yours.
Well, chisel has a double meaning in New Jersey.
you care to share? Go ahead.
Well, obviously it's you have a chisel in your hand and you got a piece of wood that you're working, but it's also people trying to chisel you in a deal.
Well, I'm talking about chiseling you into the best person you could become.
I understand that.
And it's all good. So how much more do you got going on in your life? I mean, you're getting up there, you said, and you're going to do it till you die.
Up there. I'm not planning on retiring at all. Okay. I go to Paris every year to eat food that's edible and see art that's lookable. But you know, I'm doing what I love. I wake up in the morning and I'm productive.
Yeah.
And my present roommate, Murray the cat.
Okay.
She's hanging out. She makes sure I'm okay on my podcast. She loves hanging out while I'm podcasting. And
do you ever pitch yourself and say, you know, I can't believe all this stuff has happened to me?
Yeah. I have a T-shirt that says "Live in Wonder."
Okay.
And that's a reflection of who I am.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, I'm very grateful for everything that happens to me. I've been very blessed in my life with family.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm Philly.
Are you a spiritual guy?
Yeah, very.
Yeah. So like
I'm actually a Neville Goddard guy. And so if your audience wants to look up Neville Goddard, they can. Okay. But Neville believes that the Bible is a storybook, not a history book.
Wow. Okay. Now, are they real stories, or they
were written by the story writers of their time?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look that up.
Check it out. Yeah, Neville Goddard.
I will.
So Jeffrey, millions of underground followers. Millions
of what underground followers?
Yeah, because he can't. you can't go to a Catholic church and say the Bible's a storybook.
Yeah.
Because they're all thinking, well, Moses did this and Noah did this and whatever. It's like some of it's a little unbelievable. But when you find out it's a storybook, it becomes much more plausible.
Okay. That's a matter of opinion too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. You ever read Charles Fillmore?
No.
Okay, he wrote this book Prosperity, and it's got this spiritual context in it, but it's a
I have read
different.
it. I have read it.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite book I read this year. No offense to your books, but that's one of my favorite books.
No, that's okay. I actually have a copy of it.
Yeah, it's I had it on my shelf for 15 years before I picked it up and read it.
It's an old book.
Yeah, in the 1800s.
Yeah.
So Jeffrey, I know you got to go, man, and I really appreciate this. But if somebody wanted to get a hold of you or connect with you, how do you get
Gitomer.com or Gitomer AI? Gitomer.ai or Gitomer.com. Either one you're fine. Put in the show notes and we're good to go. But let's do another talk because I have a couple of other ideas.
Yeah, when you got time, I'd love to.
Okay, I'll make sure it happens. I have
I schedule with your daughter?
Yeah. Schedule one for the first of next year.
Okay, that's great.
Cool. But I want to go deeper into AI for your listeners.
I would love to. So look, man, thank you so much for your time. It's been fun. I'm looking forward to talking to you again. And until next time, everybody, let's go get chiseled.